Anyway, eventually all of our spiders successfully reach the southern gather point. All of the hidden biters have been revealed yet again, so you think we'd be almost done with just the cleanup remaining? Well, you'd be wrong. This is the point where things start to spiral out of control into pure chaos. Embark with me on this experience where I stack one mistake on top of the other until the whole mountain of mistakes comes crashing down. First of all, right here on the water with the biter bases bending back at an awkward angle, this is not a good point to install a corner with our laser turrets. We should just generate a few extra chunks to the south instead and install the corners on the land. But we don't. Instead, we position our red spiders in the predicted path of the artillery triggered biter revenge attacks, because thunderclouds are packing together above the biter bases yet again. As there's no land generated beyond what we can see again, the biters will be forced to bend around the northern side of the lake, right into the path of the red spider assault team, and that should prevent huge groups of biters from attacking our weak laser turret extermination line. Nice. So they're grouping up for the attack? Come to daddy. Hey, where are you going? Now what? Well, I guess they gotta come back at some point, right? We have time, we can wait. In the meantime, we shall shell them some more. What? How the heck did they get on that side? And why is the world border diagonal now? Oh, the artillery shells are coming in at a 45-degree angle and are generating new chunks in the void. Anyway, so the next recording file name is called A Pretty Bad Plan and an Even Worse Execution. So strap into your seat and tape your jaw to your nose to prevent it from falling to the floor in sheer disbelief of events to come. Alright, so our laser turret line is unsuitable to deal with artillery revenge attacks. But the northern side is clear, so I guess these northern nests can be safely bombarded as the biters have a free horizontal path to my quad wall flamethrower defense. Meanwhile, diagonal artillery fire from the south has generated even more chunks, and newly materialized worms are now demolishing my laser turrets. But where are all the revenge attack biters? They should be visible on the map already on their way to my walls. Man, I'm really missing my satellite view in these newly generated northern chunks. Well, let's use some artillery shells to take a quick peek. Wait, why are all these biters parting down south? Uh-oh, I think I'd better start saving my laser turrets while I still can. Well, too late. I gotta be careful with my spiders, as a biter group this size would make quick work of my spider builder team. Just look at them gobbling up my lasers. Okay, so where will they go next? I cannot see them in the fog of war. Ah, where is my vision? Okay, well that answers that question. How the heck am I gonna stop a group that size? Just look at them gobbling up my lasers. I have no other choice but to take drastic measures. We need to send in the red spiders to deal with this, but that will generate even more chunks filled with biters. Unbeknownst to me, amidst all the alerts, the defenseless Black Widow has almost been gobbled up by a group of biters. We manage to save him from their jaws and proceed to deconstruct and save what we can. But where are the White Recluse and Spider-Ben? Fortunately they're still safe on the landfill strip, protected by the other Red Spider assault team. Well, time to regroup and rethink. Well, the regroup part went okay, but the rethinking part? Don't ask me about it. I agree we should probably just open more land to align the world generation with our walls to prevent more unexpected diagonal artillery fire. But a smart guy would have deconstructed the laser turret line there first. We tried to call over Spider-Ben and the White Recluse too, but hordes of biters blocked the way. And again, a group of behemoth biters is gnawing on the Black Widow. This time though, the red spiders do help him out. But Spider-Ben and the White Recluse have become separated from the group, and there's no way they'll make it through all the biter activity between them. Let's hope no biters part through that thin landfill strip, because all the laser turrets there are gone. After a while though, the coast seems clear, so let's have them make a quick dash for it through the wasteland. And instead of monitoring the spider's safety, let's focus on watching this biter's attack instead. Anyway, all the spiders made it safely to the south side. And thanks to this lake bending up diagonally to the north, this location seems much more appropriate for our laser turret corner. But we'd better proceed with a little more caution from here on out. I don't want to go through this entire ordeal again. So we a little more cautiously reveal our new corner and confirm the lake indeed extends how it looks it does. But finally the spiders are now standing in a safe location, out of the way of the area between the biter bases and the artillery trains. We can safely shell the hell out of the remaining biters now and let our walls deal with their revenge. So for all time's sake, let's watch the last biters explode into oblivion. So this is what it would have looked like without our satellite radar view, waiting for the shells to reveal the map at the last moments before impact. And then being left with this mess of red dots on the map. Of course we can try to update every single chunk with artillery shells all the time, but I honestly think setting up 20,000 radars was less work than doing this all over the map. So it's time to try and gain ground with our laser turret extermination line again. But boy, after this mess, the Black Widow is carrying a lot of damaged lasers now. Fortunately, we've got our old trusty spider band to repair them. And to prevent further mistakes, instead of trying to start with the awkward south corner, let's come in from the north side, where we can just continue our laser line straight down south. While the spiders march north, let's give all chunks a final update now that the biters have calmed down again. And of course I hit the single worm which survived a little further out, causing new biters to run amok all over the place. I'm glad we did the rest of the map under our satellite view, man. So let's prepare for the final laser installment line. Taking a peek at the expansion chunk candidate circles, which extend 7 chunks out from every single generated biter base in existence, we can confirm again that the new north corner is indeed clear of biters. And it looks like some biters indeed did part over our landfill bridge. Good thing they didn't do it when our undefended spiders were hiding out there, man. So by now you know the drill. The landfill has been placed, so let's stamp down our laser blueprint next to the world border, get the white recluse to defend the Black Widow from any straggler biters we may encounter, and march south. And as the spiders extend the laser line down south, they are clearing the last remaining biters in existence on the entire planet of Norvis, and we can see the last remaining expansion chunks disappearing from the map. And when the spiders approach the Southern Lake laser connection point, we have finally achieved our goals and dreams of world peace. For completeness sake, we connect our laser turret loop to form an uninterrupted band of 8000 laser turrets all the way around the edge of the world. And then proceed to spread out the red spiders to give us full satellite view on the outcrop of the square. But due to the unexpected extension, we actually have to make 5 extra spiders to fully light up the outcrop. And here's OCD's final kick in the butt. I just need to spread all the spiders out equally, which means moving this spider one chunk south on that tiny island under there. And in doing so, the spider nearly wobbles into the adjacent chunk, almost generating new land yet again. Man, this series has had enough finals, so let's zoom out and never touch these spiders again, shall we? And wielding our world border blueprint a final time, we can indeed confirm the new world border lines up with the top right nuclear explosion scorch mark. Hey, let's not make that same mistake again, shall we? Let's make the base bots install what should have been installed from the get-go, a nice hazard concrete border. On the outskirts of our old starter base, we say our final goodbyes to little Johnny. We couldn't save him, but Johnny's redemption lives on, carrying forward the legacy and making sure the injustice of the past shall not be forgotten. Ah yes, our humble starter base, which got us barely up to blue signs and enough firepower to break out of our first prison. Our single minimum production oil source, which single-handedly dealt with an entire ultimate Dead Worlds amount of enemies. And of course our first rocket silo, which launched 100 rockets up to space. And wait a minute, this is literally unwatchable. The hazard lines on the rocket silo's doors misalign with the hazard concrete. Our full minimum pollution base is visible in this shot, except for the steel and green chips, which are brought in by what every Factorio base needs the most: a giant train network. Well, anyway, our steel production is still going strong, and there are no kinks in the copper cables at our green chip factory. Our full pollution output is sustainably sustained almost entirely within our walls even. Just a mere 50 hours ago, we were at the peak of industrialization, reaching the highest pollution levels ever measured on this planet. Since then, we have bettered our lives, and 25 hours ago, we reached minimum pollution output which the local nature could reliably scrub without ill effects on the local flora. The local fauna, however, is a different story, as we all have been able to see from the comfort of our chairs through our uninterrupted satellite TV connection, provided by a massive wall of 20,000 radars. Thanks to those, we have been able to enjoy the grand extermination of the biters in its full glory, and even now, we could easily expand the factory with bots without ever leaving our walls, delegating direct instructions to the most distant corners of Norvis, comfortably from our Spider-Man command center. We still have plenty of resources available to keep on surviving and thriving for a long time. Our double-speed, minimum pollution oil fields have been providing the bulk of the oil works. Every oil processing refinery has completed 20k to 40k cycles, whereas the coal liquefaction plants have done only 7k each. In fact, we haven't even touched that 12 million extra coal patch yet. Speed moduled infinite oil production should not be underestimated. Our science production hasn't missed a beat for 20 hours now, and checking the number of completed cycles on the assembler level confirms the system has been running like an atomic clockwork. The biter evolution reached an incredible 99.38%, which is pretty rare for standard Dead World evolution progression. We had to kill over 64,000 biter spawners to push the evolution factor up that high. The 97,000 worms we killed don't contribute to the evolution factor, and neither do the 586,000 biters. The early game immense time pressure factor contributes a mere 6%, despite this game taking over 134 hours. We have deliberately not researched any of the space science requiring infinite damage upgrades to our weaponry, to better show off the power balance between the different endgame weapon systems and the maximum evolution biters. All of our space science has gone towards the 3 levels of artillery range we required, robot flying speed 10, and the rest was chucked into the great mining productivity test. Taking a look behind the scenes in the map editor, we can indeed see Schrödinger's biters do not exist in the void. However, the first land chunk in the void has been fully generated, but no entities like biters or trees have generated on the land just yet. Looking further beyond, 3 chunks of rough land shape has been generated as well, which explains why the biters could pathfind around the lake in the void to attack my laser turrets instead of falling into the red spider trap. Now, the map view in the editor won't generate any new chunks, but if we quit the map view and physically move right in the game view itself, we can and will generate new biters as we approach. and as we physically approach the world border, we can see new biters generate where there previously were none. And indeed, the green enemy expansion circles have returned to the map with them. As we zoom in, we see that the newly generated biters have indeed spawned within the range of our laser turrets again. And as soon as we progress a second of time, the lasers and the biters start to attack each other. We reload, and before celebrating our victory, we do a quick check to see if indeed all enemies are gone. But to our horror discover there are still 34 enemies remaining. Where could they be? After some searching around, we find a handful of these spawnerless but inhabited islands. Fortunately, there's a local weather forecast of heavy rain expected, and the biters quickly disappear into nothing. Only 8 entities remaining now. Where could they be? Of course, it's Johnny's redemption. Gone are the big words of how they will carry forward the legacy and shall not be forgotten and blah blah blah. True world peace can only be reached in one single way: to be the only life form left on this planet. The game could just as well be set up to be biterless and peaceful, and you wouldn't be able to see the difference. But as we admire the fully pacified planet of Norvis, we come to a startling conclusion. It's too quiet here. I don't like it here at all. So we fire up the Legacy rocket silo a final time. Take Spider-Man with us in the rocket. And we get the F off of this lifeless planet. Blech. Wait. Something's wrong. Uh-oh, that can't be good. Oh, where am I?